The YWCA has laid the foundation for the last 100 years for everything that caring people prioritize in this community: promoting safety, offering healing, giving hope, and empowering women.
The YWCA here in San Diego has always provided some kind of safe place for women to stay. In the beginning, it was young women who were coming in out of the country to take jobs in the city because of the Industrial Revolution. The name of the building, when they dedicated it in 1926, was Casa Amiga, the House of Friends. The YWCA was kind of a low-cost women's club from roughly the end of World War II up until sometime in the 1970s, and then it began a gradual transition into becoming more of a safe haven for women who were victims of domestic violence or women who were on their way back up from having drug and alcohol problems.
Well, I want to welcome everyone to our group tonight. Maybe, Anna, you can tell us a little bit more about what brought you to the Y shelter programs.
I was married at the time to my husband for 7 years. There was no real history of the abuse like you hear so often, but a really horrible incident happened where he was hitting me and I got away. He came running after me and dragged me back into the room. During this time, all I could think about was my children. Finally, when I got away, I ran to someone else and I used their phone, and the police finally came, and one of the police officers told me that there were some options available for me.
Domestic Violence Services, how can I help you? Okay, are you looking for shelter? All right.
Becky's House Emergency Shelter is a short-term 30-day domestic violence shelter for victims of domestic violence and their children. The clients that come through Becky's House Emergency Shelter will go through that initial month, and then they're given the option to move into the transitional housing, which is an 18-month program. The most important part is for them to find a place of employment, kind of move on with their lives and continue the counseling for themselves and their children so that they don't repeat the process again in later relationships. Because of the background of a lot of the YWCA clients, sometimes if they're leaving a domestic violence situation, they may not have thought to pack a bag, or they might not have enough clothes for their children. My Sister's Closet gives them an opportunity to go get free clothing that they might be in need of. It is a resale store, so members from the public can donate their used clothing or furniture or anything really, and all the proceeds from that store are fed back into the YWCA's programs.
So what about for you, Christy?
A lot of it was self-inflicted. You know, I was an alcoholic, which ended up making me homeless. I was living in Balboa Park, fell off a wall one day, and you know, I'm laying in a hospital room, you know, wondering, having people ask me, well, who are we going to call in a couple of days when we let you go? And I had no idea where I was going to go, and it was really rough. And then when I got into the Y and started therapy, and I ended up being the person that I was, you know, before all the alcohol.
Passages is a 2-year transitional program for single women who are homeless. They go through a period of 3 months where they're given 10 hours a week of group counseling, so it just kind of gives them a chance to look at why they were homeless in the first place, so that maybe once they get out of the situation, they can kind of not steer back into the same path.
What about for you?
My family is literally falling apart with mental health issues and medical issues, and we met this lady, and she brought us out to San Diego, which I thank God every day, because there's a lot of support here than is anywhere else. So I know that we're in the right place.
Cortez Hill is a program for homeless parents and their children. Typically when a family comes into the Cortez Hill Family Center, they're usually disoriented. Maybe they've never been in that situation before, or they've been very close to that situation for maybe their whole lives. They're given counseling and career resources. So by the time that they reach their 4-month, usually they're well on their way to self-sufficiency.
So if you could think of one word that could describe for you how things have changed.
I would have to say successful. I think I've come a long way. The Y has been a huge part of my life, and without them, I would not be as successful as I am at this time in my life.
My success is fourfold from where it was, a couple of years ago. I feel better about myself.
Sure.
Just dealing with life in general.
I'm excited, and I'm on the right path where I have a lot of support and knowing I'm going to be okay.
I want to thank you all for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
There are so many creative people and so many dedicated, passionate people that work so hard to fulfill the mission of the organization, and the support that we get from the community is the most important, whether it be in the way of time, your volunteer hours, or financial support. It is absolutely critical to the life of the organization.
Our vision for the YWCA is that women, children, and families deserve the best.
I am certain it has touched the lives of tens of thousands of people.
It's a safe place, it's a place of hospitality, it's a place of service, a place of learning, a place of hope.
To support the YWCA's mission, please go to YWCA San Diego.org.